Hi all, and welcome to this week's racing-based preview of Victoria Derby Day. 4 Group 1 races coming from Flemington on Saturday, and as usual, to help me find a winner of those 4, I've got Rick Chapman joining me. Rick, how are you, mate?
I'm flushed with cash after Winx's runaway victory last week and can't wait to turn it into a bigger sum this weekend.
Yeah, and before we get into this week's, Rick, she was just outstanding last week, wasn't she?
I think that undersells it. She was phenomenal to sit 4 and 5 wide for the last 800 metres and to accelerate like that. She clearly has an affinity for the Strathair, but she's also clearly the best horse racing in the country by many lengths, as it turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best I've seen, that's for sure, Rick. And a deserved win, and it'd be great to see her go for 3 in a row next year. So we're a long way out from that, but fingers crossed all goes well and she can achieve those same deeds as Kingston Town.
Yeah, well, in January of this year, my son and I, we backed her at 8-1, and we continue to back her all the way down to about 350. So we've had an enormous day between us. But he wants to get on now, and I see that she's 4-1 or 9-2 right now to win next year already. So it might not be such a stupid thing to suggest that, oh, well, she's going to win 3 in a row. She's the new Kingston Town. And oddly enough, she races like Kingston Town too. Just sits back off them and just explodes away.
Yeah, absolutely. But she's dominant in everything she does. All right, Rick. Well, we've seen a champion last week, and there's no doubt about that. So let's get into this week's racing, Rick. We'll kick off with the first Group 1 of the day, the Coolmore Stud Stakes. What a cracking race.
It's unbelievable. When you consider that you've got group-performed horses like Saratino, Archives and Derren, who have got no possible chance of winning. It shows you the depth of these top 5 horses. Any one of them will develop into, a world-class sprinter, I have no doubt. The depth of this year's 3-year-old crop of sprinters in particular is extraordinary, the best I've ever seen. And this is just a gathering of the best of them and a culmination of great planning, and is, to me, the race of the day.
Yeah, I think it is, Rick. I found this one probably the toughest on the card to pick the winner when analysing times and watching replays. It's wouldn't surprise to see it go to a handful of these, but who have you got on top anyway, Rick?
Well, I'm a little different to you. As everybody knows, I'm a huge Capitalist fan. I've backed him at every start that he's run in, and have shown, obviously a great profit, because when he won the Golden Slipper, he got out to 11-1. I can't see him winning this time, however, and I feel like I'm cheating, but I'm going against him because I do have the utmost respect for Mick Price's horse, Extreme Choice. I think he's a superstar headed for global superstardomness. That's how highly I rate him. I think he wins and wins comfortably. I love that jump out the other day at Flemington. His win at the Valley against Chautauqua and company was extraordinary. I'm not sure if any other horse in this field could have done that. So I've got him on top from Russian Revolution, who I think gets despite how good the field is, I think he gets a fairly soft lead. And he's shown that he's a bulldog, so he'll fight on. Capitalist will be finishing on, because I do think he's back to his best. And here's the difference. He's back to his best, but I think Extreme Choice has come back even better. So if you know what I mean, that's why I've got Extreme Choice to win from Russian Revolution, Capitalist, and the other 2 who I've got a massive regard for, Star Turn and Astern. They'll be right there, but they'll gap the others. But that's my top 3. Extreme Choice to win from Russian Revolution and Capitalist.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see that you don't have a Stern in there, Rick, over Capitalist. I thought that I backed Russian Revolution to beat Astern last time, but I don't think he can do it again. I think Astern was just vulnerable in that run. He'd had that bit of a setback, which meant no work for him for a few days. I think he was always going to be just a little bit short with that 3-week break, and I think he can at least turn the tables on Russian Revolution. So I've got him ahead of him. And I agree with you. I think Extreme Choice is the horse to beat. I was really tossing up between Extreme Choice and Astern in this. And I've gone towards Astern. Wouldn't surprise to see any of those two win. I think they'll fill the quinella, but I'm going with a Stern.
There you go. Well, that's the wonderful beauty of straight track racing, I guess. We differ. I look at this field, on just before we move on, I think it's a better field than last year, but I'm not sure that a Stern's a better horse in Exosphere. At this stage of their careers, in Exosphere couldn't run a place last year. So that worries me. But saying that, look, he has the opinion of James Mack and John O'Shea behind him, who rate him to be an absolute bona fide superstar. But what I worry about him is I think they're up against a freak in Extreme Choice.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Extreme Choice for you, a Stern for me. Let's go on to the next Group 1, Rick, the Myer Classic. Couple of fillies and some good mares going around in this one. Who have you got on top for this one?
Well, the weight differential with Whispering Brook and I Am a Star down the bottom brings them right into play. I don't think either of them are strong milers. I do, however, think First Seal is, and so I'm on her. She's just going to get a glorious run from the inside. Blake Shin sat out last week, and so he's itching to get back to Group 1 racing. I see her posing up in about 4th or 5th spot on the fence with cover, head on her chest, just bowling along, and if she gets out, she's got too much of a sprint. And that's the key to her. She needs to be preserved behind runners in order to let down, and she will this time without fear. She'll get out, she'll dash away, and I think she'll hold off the finish of Rising Romance. And young horse who's an emerging star in Euro Angel, I think will be getting home. But, gee, it's a good field. It's such an even... Behind First Seal, I think there's probably 2.5 lengths between the next 10. That's how even it is. But I think she probably wins comfortably because of the run she'll get, First Seal.
Yeah, I put a lot of analysis into this race in particular, Rick. And I think I found a way to line up most horses in the field on times, previous efforts, and it all sort of fell into place for me, this one, and I came down to 2 horses, First Seal and Don't Doubt Mama. I think First Seal is going to look like the winner at the 100-metre mark. Don't Doubt Mama, she's got a massive finish on her. She goes well at this track, and I think she's just going to power over the top of First Seal. So if you want to see that full analysis, which it makes sense to me, head to bettingpro.com.au and have a look. But I've got Don't Doubt Mama on top for Tony McAvoy.
Yeah, to finish over the top of First Seal. And for the trifecta, you got in for third.
Who have I got in for third in that one, Rick? You know, it was a tough one. Maybe Rising Romance. I'm banking on the fact that she's raced with blinkers all of her career, and the team took them off at the start of this prep. She raced well in her first couple of races. Blinkers went on, and I thought, this is the time when she'll shine, and she just didn't race as well. So blinkers come back off. We'll see how she goes. And interestingly, this is only a small fact, Rick, but Don't Doubt Mama jumps from barrier 13, which looks like an awkward gate. 3 of the past 5 winners of this race have come from 13. So I'm hoping that lucky 13 barrier strikes again for Don't Doubt Mama.
Well, you're a statistical man, because I certainly did not know that. But yeah, she's got a great finishing burst. Don't Doubt Mama. My query with her, and I like her a lot, but I just worry that she's going to have to weave between traffic or go very wide, and she's going to have to come from behind First Seal, who's going to be getting home in 34 seconds flat. So anyway, another great race where we disagree, but I just think class prevails. But I wouldn't be surprised if McAvoy's mare finishes brilliantly.
Yeah, she will. All right, Rick, the next one, the big one of the day, the Victoria Derby, I don't think we'll be disagreeing here. I could be wrong. But are you sticking with me with a safer elixir here, Rick?
4.5 lengths. He wins by 4.5 lengths. He's the best bet of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. You can get $2.70. Have as much as you and your wife will allow you to, and when she's not watching, have more, because he just wins and wins easily. I don't think, other than Winks last week, I've seen a Group 1 race where there's such a standout. He'll bolt in. He'll absolutely bolt in. I think So Say Bon will run second, and Swear will get home. I'd love Swear to have had one more start, but yeah, it's a walk in the park for Sacred Elixir.
Well, we're in total agreement here, Rick. I think he's the best bet of the day as well. On breeding, he has just been. This trip will suit him down to the ground. He is a stayer, all over. You look at his pedigree, going back to his dams out of Zabeel, and I think there's some other top stayers to come from his family, like Fiamatino and a few others that I just can't think of at the moment. But his dad was a Derby winner in the UK as well. The staying trip just suits, and he was so impressive last start. I backed him earlier for this race at big odds, so I think I'll just let that bet ride. I don't need to back him again, and especially I'm not going to be taking threes when I've got 11s.
Oh, fantastic result. We should.
So, absolutely. It'll be a big result for me if he gets up, and I just think he's a standout. So, Sacred Elixir, I think, again, like you said, 4 lengths. I don't think you're far off, Rick. I think he'll just belt him.
I hope somebody offers me, $5 to win by 2.5 lengths or further, because I'll get on and get on again. Yeah,
come on, Sportsbet. Chuck that one up for us. They've had that margin last week again with Winks by 2 lengths. Anyone that took that was cheering with $4. So they put something up similar. Other punters, like I said, I won't be taking it because it's still unders for what I've already got. But and another interesting stat for this one, Rick, the Vars that he came out of is the best lead-up race. 12 of the past 24 Derby winners have come from that race. So it is the best lead-up. So he's had an ideal prep. He's not overtaxed. Wants to get out of this trip, and with any decent luck, he just wins.
And like First Hill, he's just going to get a glorious run back in about 4th or 5th spot on the fence. And as long as Zach Purton can get out and get clean air, unlike last week when he nearly fell over and he had to bump his way out, it's a slaughter. It's an absolute slaughter.
What about the placings, Rick? I don't mind one for the placings. I think Tony McAvoy's Silvera can maybe work into the placings here. It's going to be tough. I've got Rocketeer for second, another second. But I'm really hoping at 50-1, Silvera can rattle home. And this is a good stayer in the making as well. I think he'll appreciate the step up in trip. And I'll probably have something extra on Silvera for the place.
And that's the thing. This is a good derby because there's at least 8 or 9 who are going to progress into group class horses over staying trips. Which makes Sacred Elixir look even better. As I said at the start of this, my placings will be Sosi Bon. I think he's just a dyed-in-the-wool Polanski type stayer, and he'll be just grinding away. Swear to run third because of his class. I liked Rocketeer, but I've got him in 4th simply because I can't see him being anything closer than 3 deep the whole way. And so that worries me about him. But a quality horse and an honest horse, so he'll be getting home hard. But my trifecta, standout, Sacred Elixir and box Sosi Bon, Swear, Tumultuous and the Rocketeer.
All right, well, hopefully after those 3, we've got plenty of cash to play with and load up on the last race. So with that cash in mind, Rick, who will you be loading up on?
I think it's a good field. Well, anyone would think it's a good field.
Well, sorry, I should just say, not the last race of the day, obviously, Rick. I'm talking about the last of the Group 1s, the Cantala Stakes or the Longines Mile. So, yeah, just to clarify that one. And who are you going for?
Well, before I give my tip for that, the last race in the program is one of the standouts. I'm on Southern Legend. I think he's going to win and win well. But back to this Longines Mile, I think it's a terrific field. Can't wait for this race. Again, I think there'll be about 4 lengths between them. But I'm on the Magic Man. I think McIntosh will win this, and I just think Moreira gets him slotted into about 6th spot, 1 off the fence. He's rock hard fit. He's an outstanding miler. Ran 133 last start. At second run back from a spell. So you've got to suspect that third run he's a length and a half better, and that to me is good enough. He wins. McIntosh, the United States is one of the best horses in the country, so he has to be considered for this. I just wonder if he's a little bit dour though at the moment, but he'll get home. And Pisa Rocky is the star of the spring. He's in dashing form, and those sort of horses always seem to hold it for this particular race. So they'll be my 3. but with a very strong leaning towards McIntosh. So I think he's a really good horse who will be absolutely peaking for this.
Yeah, he was one of the dangers when I was doing the form for this, Rick. I do like McIntosh. I think he'll be finishing second for mine, only because I'm on He's Our Rocky. I was on him last start, but the thing is, last start I was confident. He was running good times. He was a great winning chance, but I knew it wasn't the race for him yet. Fourth up from a spell is when he'll peak. Back to his first campaign in Australia. Third up, he ran second in a benchmark 70, stepped up to Group 3 level at his fourth up run, and was only just over a length behind him, flashing home. Next preparation, benchmark 70 again for his third up run, goes to Group 3 level in Sydney and wins it by half a length, beating Odyssey Moon. So one thing we know, He's Our Rocky peaks fourth and fifth up from a spell. He improves considerably from that third run to his fourth. This time, third up, he's won a Group 1 race. So if he improves again, as he has done in his last two preparations, what's he going to do on Saturday? I look at that, Rick, and I say, he's going to improve by a few lengths. I really like him on Saturday. I think McIntosh will be hard to beat. But any luck from that wide, awkward gate, and He's Our Rocky is the one I want to be on.
Yeah, we make a strong case, and we're coming at it from different angles. I look at McIntosh as being a quality miler, one of the best in the country, and with no weight in his back. And third up, he's going to be fitter, so as I've said. But I've got He's a Rocky in our placing, so we're close to agreeing on everything. But as it turns out on paper, we only agree on one, and the other three we differ. But that's good. That's the beauty of racing. But I hope we've got money. Well, I know we'll have. I'm going to be confident. Talk to the universe right now. Universe, we're going to have money by the time we get to this race, because it'll be a beauty too. I love betting in good races.
We'll have some money. And then just quickly, there's another standout. Sacred Elixir, I think, is the best on the program, or he is. But in race 2 on the day, there's one that was an absolute tragedy beaten last start. I've got a lot of time for this horse of Darren Weir's, Te Amo Grace.
Te Amo Grace, I knew you.
Yeah, just a tragedy beaten last start. I was working home so hard. So the Wakeful Stakes, Te Amo Grace's, I was disappointed to see 350 was all I could get. I was hoping to get a bit more, but the bookies didn't miss that run. They know she's here to win this one, and I'll be loading up on Te Amo Grace.
Yeah, a lot of swoopers in that race. Going to be a good race. It'll be interesting to see how good Sydney filly Alart's little sister Alliterate goes in that, stepping up to 2,000. But great racing all day. Just great racing all day. Even the Lexus Stakes over 2,500 metres. Is Tom Melbourne back to his best? And if so, does he destroy them? Or will Oceanographer do what all these other European horses have done this time up and just plows them? I wish I was at Flemington. I went to this meeting a few years ago, but this is a particularly good year this year. It's a vintage year.
Yeah, I think so, Rick. There's, that's a cracking race, that one, Rick, the Lexus. I don't know whether I'll be touching that race, to be honest. I'll play for interest, have a smaller punt, but yeah, I think that's a tough one.
Yeah, I agree, but might shed a bit of light on some of the cup runners, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be honest, in that race, I might add something small on the Little Engine, Rick. I know he's another one that just follows the same peak pattern every season, every campaign. Fifth up is when you want to be on him. Fourth or fifth up, generally fifth, depending on what sort of distance he's been given by O'Brien. So his run 7 lengths behind Jamaica in a Caulfield Cup. That's good form for this. And he's only a little fella, but I think at decent odds, he's in the mix.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race, actually. That, in terms of intrigue, it's going to be, as I keep asking, is Tom Melbourne back to his best? And if so, can he blow him away? But I tend to like Oceanographer a little bit in that race. But I'll be a bit like you. I'm just going to sit back and have a wager, because that's what you do on good races, but not expect too much of a profit.
That's it. All right. Well, there's the big ones covered. A few standout specials from us as well. Hope we've steered everyone into some winners for Saturday. We can make some cash. And remember, gamble responsibly. Enjoy a great day of racing. And Rick and I will be back on Saturday afternoon, evening for our Melbourne Cup preview as well. So look forward to that one, Rick.
Yeah, after the barrier draw, because I think that's important. But yeah, looking forward to that, and very much looking forward to Saturday in general, because it is a day where we can win if we're sensible.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, enjoy a great weekend of punting, guys, and we'll see you back here next time.
Good on you. All the best.